This is not going away. This is a federal investigation from what they're saying, like into the bookmaker guy. God forbid that Shohei had any knowledge of this. Like, it's just bad.
Let's charge the damn mound. And if you do want, again, to learn more about Game 2, we'll cover that in a few. And also, we just did a full 20-plus minutes on it. And everybody during that post-game show was asking us about the news that broke yesterday regarding Shohei Ohtani and his translator, Ippei, who is well known. I mean, people know him on a first-name basis. Like even us, I don't know him personally, but everyone just calls him Ippei. His last name is Mizuhara. And he's really not only the translator for Shohei Ohtani, his right-hand man. They're inseparable. You see them together basically 24/7, right? When he's at the ballpark. And story breaks yesterday about $4.5 million being wire transferred essentially to an illegal bookie who's being investigated by the feds right now. So this turns into like a criminal case when you're looking at what's going on. And from the reports that are out right now, he was speaking to ESPN, Ippei, about gambling debt with this bookie, offshore bookie, right? Or illegal bookie that was owed, and that Ohtani was essentially going to cover for him, right? And then it actually then flipped into theft, that he's stealing money from Ohtani. So you guys did you read one of the long-ass stories? There were a bunch.
I read a lot of it. And
yeah, there's a lot going on
It's
here.
almost like it's more confusing the more you read about it.
Correct.
But you know who was great with this was Dallas Braden.
What did he say?
On Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But I can't call it X. It's still Twitter to me.
Yeah, Twitter.
But he was like, all right, so basic timeline. Ippei talks to ESPN for 90 minutes. By the way, speaking of great secret keepers, how about ESPN? They didn't break this until it broke, right? He talks to him, and then he tells him what he says, and then someone in the Dodgers or at Shohei was like, no, he's lying. That's not the true story. And then he does another interview, and he tells him a different story. And then they basically say he's stole. And then it comes out. And then he tells the team after the game. But what's weird is they showed Shohei in the dugout with Ippei the last out, and they're like hugging and smiling like. So it's just the whole thing is so odd.
If someone stole 4.5,
I would not be hanging out with him in the dugout like, hey, buddy. I mean, the whole thing is crazy to me.
Ohtani's richer than you, though.
Well, true, but still $4.5 million is still $4. I mean, he's only making $2 million, so he took 2 years of salary from him.
Right. I mean, he's making like 35 plus in endorsements this year. So it is pebbles in his life,
Yeah.
maybe. He's not a big spender, but Kratz is just so anxious to jump in. Go ahead. What do you got?
Maybe he is a big spender. Maybe we don't know anything about Shohei. But what we do know is that their relationship is more than what people think. If you've ever had a player that needs a translator, it's not just he shows up to the field the same time Shohei shows up to the field and he translates at the field and then they go their separate ways. They are together all the time. So whether Shohei was helping him out, whether Ippei has some problems, this is tough because they are, I don't know that they're buddies because I don't know them, but I know some of the other translators that are guys that I played with, their translators and them are friends, whether they're married or not, whether they are living together or they have apartments next to each other. They live this life together. Yamamoto's translator is going to live with him essentially for the next 10 years. And it's more than just like, well, hey, this is somebody that's with the crew, I'm going to help him out. No, like these guys have been essentially inseparable for the last 7 years.
I actually think Craig in the chat put it pretty simply, but it makes sense. The obvious truth is what everyone is thinking. Ohtani helped his buddy out. Lawyers caught wind, realized the implications, changed the narrative to cover. Makes sense.
That's a lot.
Ohtani also hired a very, very high profile criminal defense attorney.
As he should.
As he should. A very high level Blair Burke, and she only handles super high cases.
As he should.
As he should. Yes,
but do not want to have a problem. There's a lot on the line. And This is a guy that likes to eliminate distractions.
Okay, so here's the thing. So he hides everything. He hides his free agency. He hides his wife. He hides his dog's
Well, not
name.
anymore.
No, but for a
Sure.
long time, right? He hides that he got married and didn't tell anybody. It's just, and then this comes out. It's fascinating to me. It's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out because this is going to dominate for a while. And I know he didn't speak today after the game about it. Eventually, he's going to have to say something about it, whether it's with his lawyers or not. But you can't.
Why? He can say, nope, not saying anything. It's not for me. It's the lawyers.
I know, but then you say that.
The problem with that, which we've spoken about on the show,
just say,
is that
hey, I
everyone
can't
else
talk
can
about it.
Speculate if you don't address it.
You just say, hey, I can't talk about it. Even if, again, say whatever your lawyers tell you to say, but like just say, hey, like I can't talk about it. Because now it's more of a story going forward. Like if he just addresses it and says, hey, I can't talk about it, they'll leave him alone about it. But until you say that, I don't know, man. This is bad. This is bad. I'm sorry, it's bad.
He's not under any investigation.
I understand, but it's still,
league or anything else.
not
right now.
No.
This is all just coming out. Too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you think ESPN doesn't cover this at all until like 6 seconds in the 7th inning because it's all speculation? Because they have a bigger story to run? Like, how is this not to what?
You're not allowed to. I worked on that side. If you're calling the game and there's some crazy story, especially like this, which involves a criminal investigation, you're just not allowed to talk about this stuff.
They just say, hey, don't mention it.
You get suspended or fired potentially if you didn't listen and it was like put in writing, especially from one of your bosses, like, hey, you are not allowed to talk about this, or hey, we're going to send you 2 PR lines that you'll use in the 7th inning and then we move on. I
didn't think they'd even say anything about it at all. I was surprised they even mentioned it for a minute.
Dodgers
I thought they would just. Well, of course, the Dodgers, of course, damn sure ain't going to say nothing about it. But it's just, gosh, man, this is just after all the hype and everything with Shohei and everything that had happened, and man, everyone like this is the new face of baseball, and then to have this come out his first day as a Dodger, it's crazy. It's literally one of the craziest stories of all time. And I will say this: I hope everything comes clear for Shohei. I hope everything is good. But I will say this. The people that are so creative on Twitter and Instagram and all of that, I mean, I couldn't stop. I was like, this is unbelievable, dude.
Our text group was ridiculous last night. AJ's just flowing like whatever they were, memes, GIFs, whatever, after another. It was hilarious. Okay, on the serious side, first off, we love watching Ohtani. He's great for the game. We just had him out in Seoul playing well. And could this be a distraction for a team that's got so much going on? It's not just the media here in the U.S. There's 30, 40 media members from Japan following the team year-round now. We talked to plenty of Dodgers about this. They're going to be asking him constantly. They're going to be asking other players. Will this be a distraction, or is a veteran team like this able to just tune everything out and have a good time?
It's going to be tough because this is going to be there. This is not going away. This is a federal investigation from what they're saying, like into the bookmaker guy.
Yes.
Right. So who found them and who found this, they found it through the bookmaker. They didn't just randomly be like, hey, Ohtani and Ippei, blah, blah, blah. Because if this didn't happen under federal investigation, we probably never would have found out about this. Mm-hmm. Right. So for this to be under federal investigation, this isn't like it's going away. This isn't like, hey, I gave my buddy $20 and he did something stupid with it. This is like serious stuff that could happen to not to Ohtani, because again, but to like Ippei and then the bookmaker, because as we all know, when you're put in the stand, guess what? You open up. I mean, like the mafia forever, right? Oh, no one talks. And Sammy the Bull's like, yeah, he did it. You know, like he couldn't shoot guys down fast enough, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they put pressure on you. And God forbid that Shohei had any knowledge of this, like it's just bad. Yeah. And I pray that it didn't happen, because we all want Shohei to succeed and we want him to be awesome because he's awesome. Mm-hmm. But gosh, man, it's not going to go away until the investigation's done. Mm-hmm.
This will be a distraction, but I think there's good distractions and there's bad distractions. And will this bring the team together? Will they rally around Shohei because he didn't do anything Are they going to have to deal with it during the whole season? Is it something that brings them together? Not that it's a tragedy, but there's things that bring teams together and bring them closer together. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe it's something that it's just exhausting. They go through a little skid and it's like, Uncle, I don't want to give any more interviews about this, off-field stuff with Shohei. And the reason he didn't speak after the game, he didn't have his interpreter. I don't know why people think he needed to speak. He didn't have his interpreter.
Is that why? Yamamoto has an interpreter. He speaks Japanese. Shohei speaks Japanese.
Yamamoto's interpreter is sitting there going, nope, Yoshi's my guy.
Talk to me.
Yep, Yoshi's my guy.
Yeah.
And he had enough to talk about after that game anyways. We didn't even get into the game.
This is a distraction. This distraction takes away some of that heat from Yamamoto from the first game.
Okay, let's get into
Not
that.
really. Not really.
I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.